Hello everybody. Welcome to this week's weekly bump. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to be connecting with you guys today. So as always, we have 3 piles, pile 1, 2, and 3. We're using the same aura quartz as last week. Hope you guys don't mind. We have a pink aura quartz, blue aura quartz, and a green aura quartz. So this is the point where you get to pick a pile. So you can either pause the video and allow yourself to feel intuitively drawn to one of the piles or 2 or 3 of the piles. And if you don't necessarily always feel connected, which I know not a lot of people always do, you can always pick a pile at random. And there's usually an element of destiny involved, and there will likely be a quality message in there for you somewhere. So go ahead and select the timestamp for each pile in the description box in the comment thread down below. All right, see you in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the pink aura quartz. Let's go ahead and start with the first card, which says, release the dark wound, let love in. Okay, Mars coming conjunct Chiron today, right? Mars is at 14 degrees, Chiron is at 15 degrees. We're going to be feeling this today and tomorrow. Now, I mean, I think you know, right? And this is the thing, it's you can't escape this part of yourself. Like, you know that now is the time to not be in your wounded self, right? That this is the time to be the full embodiment of love and light as much as you possibly can. And it's not from repressing things. It's not from being in denial. It's not from any of that, but it is from a place of true release. Love can look differently for everybody. Love can be just you being in a state of peace. It can be you expressing your love in some way or doing some kind of an act of service, like the 5 love languages, acts of service towards someone or whatever. Or it can just be you in a state of meditation. But I'm sensing that now is a time, as Mars often can, right? He can definitely create abrupt pivots with things. And so now is a time to really pivot away from the darkness of this wound and allow yourself to shine in a more authentic way. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what these tarot cards have to say. We have the Hanged Man. We have the 2 of Cups. 9 of Swords. The Sun. Hermit, and I don't think these are going to really fit over here very well. The High Priestess. Okay. Looking at this 9 of Swords here, I get this feeling that this has been something that has been problematic for a while, So if it's like, something like a lack of self-worth, that can definitely manifest for you romantically, financially, and in terms of any of your other kinds of interpersonal relationships, now is a time for that to really come to an end. It's time for you to really start appreciating yourself and really start seeing yourself. If this is physical health, in some way, shape, or form, this is time for you to get your power back and to really take your health in stride and to start doing the research and whatever. If this is your career, right, you're feeling wounded in your career, this is time for you to really sit down and set a plan and allow yourself to work hard towards something that you believe in. You're all going to have these wounds in different areas of your life. And 9 of Swords, it cannot sustain itself anymore, and I see that with the Sun. The Sun is going to come out and it is going to completely block out the darkness. And you are probably going to have some quality of momentum that gets built or that gets started. I don't know, that's not the right phrasing of it, but like there's going to be some momentum that gets going this week as you release the Chiron energy and start working towards something bigger than yourself, something more meaningful, and something that really does put value out into the world. And I look at this Hanged Man reverse, and I see you coming down off this tree. I see you kind of getting your footing. And I know, and I kind of look at the halo around his head here, and I say, well, the sun energy, we've got the halo. You are emerging into this week from a slightly more enlightened place than you were probably a month ago. You've probably had your consciousness expand, as it does on a daily basis, right? You've had your consciousness expand to some degree, and that expansion of consciousness has caused you to to really determine within yourself that it is time for this to be released. And with the Two of Cups, I think that you're going to have, at the very minimum, okay, the Two of Cups is like a high quality conversation. We've got Mercury in Gemini as of today, which is very exciting. Mercury is now starting to move very quickly. He's still in shadow phase though, but he is starting to speed up a little bit. And I think we're starting to realize that, there's really no point in holding back. There's no point in not saying the things. There's no point in not reaching out. Now is a great time to reach out, to connect, to send the email, to make the phone call, to send the text message, for something that's productive. Okay. I'm not trying to talk about getting back with your toxic ex or whatever, right? That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to progress. We're trying to get ourselves to a better place that is not with this kind of hanging over our hearts. So we focus on the things that are good in our lives. We focus on the things that are effective and the things that bring passion and love and joy into our life, and the things that really, enhance our creativity, and the things that we are uniquely good at. Being in your creative space would be highly advantageous for you, because it's very likely that you'll have a lot of progress, you'll have a lot of success in that arena. And even with the hermit mode, while there are seemingly collaborations going on here, there is going to be probably a substantial period of time where you are going to want to go behind closed doors a little bit, even with the high priestess as well. And not only can this represent your spiritual practice, but this can represent that discipline that is needed and required to get from point A to point B. I feel a strong drive for you this month. This week especially, I feel a strong drive. I feel that the ambition is there. It's there where it's needed. You are going to have to confront this stuff though, because this wounded stuff is what had inhibited you in the past. So you are going to have to overcome that hurdle. You're going to have to get over yourself a little bit and say, well, I can either sit here and be in my wounds, or I can get up and make something happen for myself. And that's really where the choice is. And I think most of you are going to get up and make something happen. See, we've got luck is on your side. So there's really positive energy surrounding your positive efforts. And if you do put effort, if you do reach out, if you do make those calls, and you do put yourself in front of people, chances are something is going to work out. Something is going to come through. The money is going to come through. The client will come through, whatever it is. And your dreams need a practical plan. So when you have the practicality, right, with the step-by-step stuff and the work ethic that I clearly see, especially with a Virgo energy like that, a Virgo and Leo actually energy both. I see that both of those highly ambitious and able to get their hands in the dirt and make something happen. So you have the practicality component, you have the good luck component, and you have the dream component, and you have the release component. So there's really not a lot of things that are really stopping you right now. Okay, we have the Universe card, and we have Sacrifice. Now, Sacrifice is similar to this Hanged Man energy. The sacrifice is likely the comfort. You are going to have to get uncomfortable. You are going to have to push your boundaries a little bit. You're going to have to probably have a little pep talk with yourself at least one time this week of okay, get up. You can do it. Okay, make the call. You can do it. Okay, you go in there. You can do it. Whatever it is. You can do it. You believe. And you believe that you deserve it. You believe that you can have it. You believe that this is part of your destiny, And I see you moving from a state of readiness for your destiny to the state of embodiment of your destiny, right? There's a big transition there, and I see that you're crossing that threshold. Okay, we have Solitude, which is interesting because we have the Hermit here as well, which tells me, again, that you're likely going to be doing some stuff behind closed doors. Likely you are going to, you'll have a great conversation with someone externally from you, or you'll meet with someone or have a heart-to-heart with someone or whatever it is. You'll have that, but there's a lot going on that a lot of people aren't going to see. So I do like the solitude component because it enables you to gather yourself, to regroup, and to confront this wounding that you have and make that choice consciously to not let it affect your work moving forward. And DNA karma. See, it's moments like this when we really do erase our ancestral karma, when we stop the train, if you will. This is what conscious choices really are all about, because this wounding occurred because someone else was wounded. A parent, probably, right? Most likely. Someone else was wounded. Someone else was in pain. Someone else was misjudged. Someone else was treated unfairly. That got projected onto you, and now it's up to you to not act according to that. Okay, so this is a monumental moment, not only for you, but for your family as well. Oh my gosh, I love this. Let love be your guide, right? Let love in, let love be your guide. Live a life from love, guided by love. That's what this is really all about. You're getting a lot of lessons about love right now. And I think it's really sad that, especially like in the American culture specifically, right? We use the word love and it immediately means like romantic love with marriage and, you know, having sex and falling in love and all that. But I mean, there are so many different kinds of love, so many different expressions of love. And when you are aligned with the highest form of love, right, there is that state of ecstasy associated with that state of just like incredible pulsing bliss that just comes through you. And I'm not going to say you're going to have a week that's full of bliss and only that, but there may be moments like that. There may be moments for you to really capture. And when you follow the things that bring you closer to that state of bliss, meaning the things that bring you a great deal of joy and happiness, and I don't mean the fleeting happiness that you get from a thrill. I mean like the real happiness that is stable and solid and unwavering. When you make choices that are in line with that, which of course hanging on to a wound is definitely not aligned with that, because that just brings great pain. I see that you're trading off this dark energy for the light energy, and that this is, you know, a part of your destined journey, that you would hit this moment and this transition would occur. So we have the frog spirit, which says clear out the clutter. Okay, so the clutter of probably your, sorry, I'm just trying to think of where to put these cards. The clutter of your mind, especially. Could mean physical clutter. Okay, we do have that Virgo energy a little bit, and often I do see her being very picky about her environment as well, the high priestess. There's an element of pristine, right? With the high priestess, she's very pristine. So physically, your environment to be cleaned out would be beneficial. Mentally, your environment, especially when you've got 9 of Swords going on up in that head of yours, clean out that environment. You can do that through the process of meditation, or just focusing on the things and spending time on the things that bring you a great deal of joy. And then we have this card, which says, obstacles and blocks are lifted. I'm going to read this out for you. All your good personal work and your positive energy... Hold on, sorry. My eyes were playing tricks on me. Let me start over. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles, and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. Okay? Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. I think that's the most important line right there, because that's the transition point. That's the transition point from the 9 of Swords to the Sun. Okay? You are going to feel that blocks are lifted. Okay? And then last but not least, we have Jade, take action. Yeah, there are going to be actions that are needing to be taken. And you know that, and you know what they are. You know what needs to be done. So it's not like you're going to have to sit around thinking about, well, do I go here? Do I go there? Do I go up? Do I go down? It's like, no, you know exactly where you need to go. There's no crossroads. There's no questioning. You know what's aligned with your truth. You know what's aligned with your goal. So it's just a matter of doing that thing. And once you start doing it, you are going to build momentum. You're going to build momentum. You're going to see progress. And when you see progress, you are going to start feeling, I think, in a lot of ways, better about yourself and better about your dreams becoming reality. Okay? All right, pile number 1, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you guys selected the blue aura quartz. So let's go ahead and get started. So we start with collaborative dreaming. Okay, so this may mean your actual dreams, like when you're sleeping, but I also kind of feel like there may be a component of daydreaming as well. And the visions and the projections, whatever you want to call them, the dreams themselves, the imaginings, they're not accidental. Your higher self is guiding you and providing specific images, implanting certain desires in your heart, specifically to help get you to take certain action, to help get you to move in a new direction, to help you take certain steps for something bigger that maybe you can't necessarily perceive yet. I think right now it's important for you to have a lot of faith in what's happening. You don't have to sit and analyze your dreams, and you don't have to figure out all the symbolism with everything. It's just going to be more about allowing the dream to actually occur. Allow yourself to dream the thing. This was a really big message, like way back from even last year, like late last year. It was like, really just allow yourself to want the things, allow yourself to dream about having the things, because the more and more you allow yourself to feel how great it will be to have the things, the more likely you are to have them. Okay? Queen of Coins, Justice, 6 of Coins, Knight of Cups, 2 of Coins reversed, and the King of Swords. It's interesting that we have the Queen of Coins and the King of Swords on complete ends of this reading. And I feel like there may be a disconnect with someone for some of you. Like you may be feeling really distanced from somebody, maybe through physical distance. There may be actually like collaborative dreaming with another person, like some weird psychic telepathy stuff going on here. But I feel like you feel very distant or very disconnected from this King of Swords. This King of Swords is looking straight forward. Queen of Coins has her back turned to him. So there's definitely like some kind of a coldness, or it could be emotional distance for some of you. It might be someone that you haven't spoken to in a really long time. For those of you who are, not necessarily talking to your parents, it could be a parent. If you're married and having issues within the marriage, it could definitely be representative of that as well. But I do see with the Knight of Cups some sort of a peace offering is the first word that I am hearing. It's some sort of a peace offering, likely coming from the Queen of Coins. So if you relate more heavily to the Queen of Coins, see, when I look at the King of Swords, he's looking straight ahead, which he gives me more of a neutral vibe, whereas the Queen of Coins has her back turned, and I feel like there's more emotion behind that. So the person who's more emotional in a situation is likely to be the one that's going to send this peace offering toward the person who's more neutral. The person who is more neutral has a little bit more, quote unquote, power or gravity, if you will. The King of Swords wields his power through non-communication. And so, you have to be kind of careful of that. I don't know why I'm feeling so strongly that there's some sort of relational issue. We do have Venus in that, she's right now, as of today, sandwiched between Uranus and the North Node. She will be crossing over the North Node this week in the next couple of days. So that could definitely be something relational for sure. The dynamics of this relationship definitely changing. And with the Justice card, the 6 of Coins, and the 2 of Coins reversed, it clearly indicates things coming into an equilibrium or coming into balance or reestablishing a connection of some kind, reaffirming with one another. There's an element of reciprocity with the Six of Coins, the give and take. And with the Two of Coins in the reversal, it's likely that there's some sort of reprioritization going on. You know, you can't keep everything up in the air. Some of the balls have to drop. And maybe for some of you, the choice is, do we prioritize each other or not? Are we going to prioritize this relationship or not? Are we going to salvage this connection or not? And it might be as black and white as that. It might be like very clear, one side of the line or the other. The justice energy does not necessarily operate very well in the gray. You know, it's either it's this or it's this. It's either fair or it's not. It's either good or it's bad, kind of thing. You would argue that, you know, that maybe there is that, well, it's both, you know, kind of thing. But I think right now it's very black and white. Oh, see, exactly. Yeah, communication is key. Well, there you go. And I think that this Knight of Cups is definitely the means of communication. This Knight of Cups is like the messenger being sent to the King of Swords for the sake of whatever the goal is. I don't know. Meditate and contemplate. So, well, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, some of you really need to decide whether or not this is going to be a life, you know, I could make this really big. I don't know that this is necessarily going to be a huge event in your life. I just think that it's just something that needs to be dealt with, you know. Maybe you do need to really pull it in. You do need to kind of go into your own private space, close the door, and really allow yourself to just be alone for a minute. You know, with Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius right now, I think we are all sort of pulling it in. It's not necessarily so much about being externally social as it is about the growth that happens when we are on our own, when we are disassociated from people, specifically people that are maybe not super healthy for us. To do the meditations, to do the contemplations, to perhaps, you know, come into a better understanding of what role this person has in your life and what role they could potentially have in your future. Oh, well, there you go. We got the solitude card. So being alone, being in solitude, being in that place of meditation and contemplation is going to be important for you to gain clarity. And again, collaborative dreaming, I do think that you are going to be receiving some pretty interesting insights through the more meditative place. Material and spiritual prosperity is an indication that all will be well. Will it officially have the impact or the outcome rather? Will it officially have the outcome that you want? I'm not sure. I don't see any reason to be negative about this. I don't see any reason to say it won't. But I do think that a bridge does need to be crossed, and it's really up to the person who's willing to cross that bridge. And the question is that you? Are you willing to cross the bridge or not? If you're not, then likely this situation will just continue to go unresolved. If you are, it's likely to have a positive outcome, okay, with the material and spiritual prosperity. We have this effortless, okay, we like that card for sure because this doesn't have to be hard. And I think there are other areas of your life too. It doesn't necessarily have to just be about this one relationship. There are other things in your life that you may be tapping into an effortlessness with as well. You may be working effortlessly. You may be making money effortlessly. Maybe the ideas are flowing and you are creating effortlessly. And I think that's a sign that you're on the right track. Again, a sign toward greater and enhanced material and spiritual prosperity. Vision quest. I know you have a vision, and I know you've been envisioning that thing for a very long time. You've had your eye on the ball with something. And now I know that you've already started and really embarked upon this journey already. You know, and it is supposed to be fun. And maybe that's one of the reasons why this relationship, there has to be something that happens here, because the question is this person conducive to you being on this mission of yours? Does it work? Does it make sense? Is there cohesiveness? Do they share the ideas that you have? We have walk your own journey. It is essential to stay on your own path, which makes a lot of sense with solitude and also effortless. maybe that's one of the reasons for the distance here, is because you did ultimately end up on your own journey. And when you start walking in a new direction and the other person does not, it can create greater and greater distance between two people. Attempts to reconcile that may be a little bit challenging, but I think ultimately both of you are willing. We've got an upright king and an upright queen, so it suggests to me that there is an emotional maturity and intelligence, also a spiritual maturity and intelligence that can be useful to coming together to some degree. But ultimately, your vision is yours, and you have to be responsible for it. And the other person or other people, it's not really up to them to really do this thing. It's really up to you. We have butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. Yes, it absolutely is beautiful. And you're changing. You are evolving. You know that you are becoming an entirely different kind of person. This vision in and of itself, this quest, especially like the vision and quest, the quest is also turning you into another person. You're evolving, you're growing, and you are becoming a lot less rigid, becoming a lot less fearful, becoming a lot more courageous and brave, and a lot more free as well. So now we have this card. It says cooperation instead of competition. What's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. And perhaps maybe that's what this is about, is you wanting to have this collaboration. We have the word collaborative here as well. Perhaps there is someone with whom you truly wish to join for the sake of accomplishing greater things. This would be a good week to reach out. With Mercury coming through Gemini, I genuinely believe there could be some positive effects that come from that. And then we have Pearl, connect to the divine. So, all of this is divinely inspired. There's definitely no question about that for me. It's not coming from ego. It's coming from something much bigger than yourself. I honestly don't think there's a lot of room for ego right now. I don't think that that's really like that big of a thing. And so I don't think there's any threat of you doing something just merely for the validation of something. This is more about the way your soul wants you to move. Okay? All right, pile number 2. I'm going to leave you with that. You guys know I love you. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 3. You guys selected the green aura quartz. So let's go ahead here and take a look. Starting off with what you want wants you. Okay, beautiful. So there is an energy of manifestation, creation, making things happen, putting effort into something. And sort of I'm not going to say there are no obstacles or whatever, but it's just kind of a very clear path. You want something, and because you want it, it is ultimately for you. And when I say you want a thing, right, I don't necessarily mean like, for example, romantically, like I want this specific person to fall in love with me. Not really what we're going for. It's more like I want a healthy and loving relationship. Okay, so we have to think about that in more those kinds of terms. So what you want wants you. Healthy and loving relationships, overabundant bank accounts, a flourishing career, a healthy family with healthy children, a beautiful home, a really high quality group of friends, right? All of these things are, good health. All those things are included in that. So what you want wants you. They want it too. Okay, death. The Magician, 7 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and 4 of Wands. Okay, I'm looking at this Death card. It feels very much like you almost purposefully burned something to the ground in order to make room for something else, for what you want, right? To make room for the thing that you want, you had to eliminate something else. You had to eliminate a habit, perhaps, or eliminate a train of thought. You had to eliminate a relationship, or eliminate a career path that wasn't serving you. You know, you had to make the sacrifice, and almost like you had to kill something in order to rebirth something. And the Magician is all about the new creation energy. So it's out with the old, in with the new. And I'm kind of sensing that this Seven of Cups is like very much like the energy field, like, you know, like this big cloud of infinite possibilities just sort of circulating here. And it's just really waiting for you to collapse the energy or collapse the atoms into something that is a usable form, right? And I think that you're in this creation process. You are deep in this creation process yet, although I don't think you've officially manifested in reality the things yet, which is why you have to take these actions and do some of the work. 10 of Wands. Now, with the 10 of Wands, I do not see that as being a card of drudgery. I see that as being a card of the work that you love to do, and you love to do it because you know it's worth it. And I'm seeing the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Wands on either side, both cards of celebration and joy and abundance and prosperity and great friends and great family and great events and festivities. And, you know, it's just like all the great things. This is like a good time, right? Good party time. And the choices that you're making are going to lead to a lifestyle that is more free, that is more financially abundant, that is more relaxed. So what you're doing now truly matters. It truly has an effect. And I know you had to get rid of something, or you had to eliminate something that wasn't working. You had to do that. So hopefully there's no space being taken up in your life with regret or whatever, because that's just completely unnecessary at this point. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Yeah, I bet. I'm sure that wasn't easy. You know, it's not always an easy decision to do that, especially, you know, I mean, maybe it wasn't a decision per se, as something that just happened, but maybe it was a decision for some of you, and maybe it was one of the hardest decisions you've ever had to make. And maybe you're still getting used to this different life now. You know, you're getting used to the new habits, you're getting used to the new patterns in your life, used to the new lifestyle. You are good enough. You are good enough for what you want. You are good enough all around the board. Sometimes we need that reminder, you know, especially with Mars coming conjunct Chiron today and tomorrow. You know, we're definitely going to be feeling that over the next couple of days. Can really bring out that imposter syndrome, can bring out that insecurity, can bring out the fear that we're not appreciated, or that we're not seen, or, you know, that we don't know who we are, we don't have this high quality sense of self, you know, whatever, and we can be very triggered or whatever. But I think taking a step back, you are good enough, you are deserving, it's going to be okay. It's all going to come into harmony. It's all going to come into a balance of some kind. There will be I'm seeing this as like a meeting of the minds, but also a meeting of the hearts with someone or people, multiple people, with a romantic partner or a friend or a group of friends, or potential collaborative partners that could also be incredibly lucrative. I think that lucrative is going to be a theme for the upcoming months. The relationships are going to be lucrative. The investments will be lucrative. Okay. And then we have intuition. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, clearly you're following your intuition. You're not necessarily like, you're not ignoring, you're not in denial of what your heart is truly saying. That's why this had to happen. I know this wasn't easy. And I know this 10 of Wands also not easy. I know you enjoy it, but it's not easy. And I know you have kind of a long road ahead of you as well. But I think it's this determination that had been lacking the past couple of years. This feeling of like, yes, this is for me. And yes, this is what I want. And yes, this is how I'm going to go after it. You know, that was just kind of maybe wavering. Wind activation. So yes, you are going, especially with the Magician card, there is an element of initiation. You are initiating these projects. You are getting things started. Focus, crystals, yes, a lot of focus. And it is because you are so focused that this death had to happen, right? Your future, your destiny, if you will, is pulling you, right? It is clicking you into place. And I'm getting an unbendability, right? No one is going to be able to sway you. No one is going to be able to pull you off of this path from this point forward. Like, I feel a very strong dedication. You are now dedicated to this project, dedicated to this relationship, dedicated to this journey of yours, and no one is going to convince you of anything else. And maybe some of you that's more normal. Others of you, this is very not normal. So either way, it's going to be very productive. No longer holds power over you. Dissolve attachments of the past with love. That's what this was, the death, just because whatever had power over you was preventing you. But what you wanting you, had strong enough gravity that this became an inevitability. Don't think for one second that this death card was just some act of universal will, right? This was an inevitability because your vibration was growing, your spirituality was being enhanced, your mind, your consciousness, your awareness was going up, and it was going up. It's inevitable that the things on those lower end of the scale had to break down. The mouse spirit, tend to the small things. That's a lot of this 10 of Wands energy. There are a lot of moving pieces to what you're trying to do. There are a lot of people that may need to be involved. There are a lot of emails and a lot of things and a lot of conversations and meetings and phone calls and all these things that need to happen in order for this thing to be created. So you have to tend to the small things. Pay yourself first. Okay, so this is about, right, every time you're paid, putting money into either an investment account, although the markets are kind of going crazy right now. So I don't know. I'm not going to give you financial. I mean, we knew that, right? Venus coming into conjunction with Uranus with the North Node. I mean, we knew that. So, but, wherever you feel safe with your money to ensure that it's at a very low risk right now. Or if you have a very high risk tolerance, fine, put it in a high risk thing, but with a long-term hold projection. Okay. So you got to make sure you're doing something smart with it. You got to make sure that you're doing something good with it. Because this money will likely be needed for something down the road, and you're going to be really, really, really glad you have it. Sapphire, regenerate your body. Okay, you have to prepare for what's coming, because what's coming, it is going to require a lot from you, a lot of attention, a lot of energy, a lot of investment, but it's what you want. Like, you said you wanted it, and now the universe is saying, okay, well, you said you wanted it, so I'm giving you all the tools to do it. Now you can build it. And so when you build something, right, you're going to get all sweaty and be out in the hot sun, and you're going to be, learning a lot of new things, and you're going to need the right mind for that. You're going to need to make sure that your mind is healthy. The best way to do that is exercise and diet and just doing things that make you happy, living in a clean environment, dressing well, getting ready in the morning, and just really showing up as much as you possibly can. That is definitely something within your control. That is definitely something you should be incorporating into the list of daily important things. Okay? All right, pile number 3, I'm going to leave you with that. You guys know I love you. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.